Welcome back to a bit gamey and March progress. Starting from the back and going forward to the more sensible things. This is the two command bases for the French Napoleonic. Because I had this plan to start with Napoleonics, but I decided because I like big chunky French battalions. I decided I wasn't going to have enough room, but so I had 3 battalions of French which I'd done, and some spare command bases. The reason for the command bases is the reason for doing these extra command bases is because my first thought was to do these chunky French battalions, 36 figures. But then I realised it's no good really for my table. My table was too small. So then my second plan was to have it so that there have two spare command bases, and then turn the battalions into small, like 12-figure battalions, and use some other rules that would suit that. I forget the name. I've seen a couple of more kind of brigade scale or whatever, division scale rules. Not black powder, but something else. And I thought having a couple of extra spare command bases, and then you could turn each battalion into four battalions, which it works, but I don't know if that's a great plan really. But anyway, that's why I did it. Anyway, I had 6 lots of spare figures for the spare command bases, and so I was doing that. And is it a good idea? I don't know if it is really. I don't know if I mean, you could do that. My 3 battalions could be turned into 12 for games of that scale. But then when you think about it, you think, okay, 12-figure battalions are okay for the infantry, but do you really want 4-figure cavalry battalions? So I don't know, but anyway, that was the plan. Well, that was plan A, and this was plan B. And is it a good idea? I don't know. I don't think it's a particularly good idea, but it's an idea. So I could do that. So anyway, but the main reason for doing it now is because I had the spare figures. I bought the figures ages ago, and I wanted to get rid of them, but it's actually involves buying more to fill out the command bases. So blah blah blah. It's probably a bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway. So I've got six bases to do. Well, I had 6 to do now, so this is 2 of them done, and it's not very useful because I don't think I'll ever be doing that. And in fact, what I'll probably do is just eventually, when I get a bigger table, I'll just turn these 2 spare into into the basis of another 3 battalions. And I'll gradually get the rest of the battalions, and that'll be that. But anyway, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to actually make the point. Someone was saying I might as well show it, because I'm not a great painter. But someone was saying that you might as well show them anyway, and also just because there are good painters or great painters on online, like VK or whatever, and on the one hand that's inspiring, gives you something to aim at, but also it might put a lot of people, might put some people off, because you think I'm never going to be able to do that. So having, you know, a crappy painter doing close-ups of their figures should might encourage people thinking that it's actually, you know, that's the baseline. You know, people like BK, you know, are very good, and but the actual baseline is is my kind of rubbish version. So anyway, that's that. So some painted French Napoleonics, totally kind of pointless and a mistake, but there you go. So I say, going from the back to the forward, and this is another thing which is completely pointless, or not completely pointless. I shouldn't say that, because it's fun. I enjoy painting them. I got all this stuff to do with Frostgrave, and I just got loads of it, and I'm just trying to get it all painted and put away. And the good side of doing this stuff is it's just fun to paint, basically. You know, you just pick random models. I'm not sort of collecting for any particular set. I bought stuff that was looked fun, and it's good, you know, painting practice and stuff. So I'm quite happy with that. It's you know, it's whatever. It's not very there isn't much purpose to it. I mean, I probably will do something with them at some point in the future, but I've got no idea what. But these are just figures that I just bought at random, and they were quite fun to paint. So this one was WizKids. This one was Reaper Miniatures, I think, and that I think as well was Reaper. Not entirely sure. And these two I think were either Otherworld or North Star. Can't remember. The Otherworld one, I think this is actually meant to be Odin, but I could be wrong. And the little vampire, werewolf, demon, slard, yeah, whatever. They're silly, but they're fun to paint, and it's just fun. And it's probably quite good practice, or possibly good practice, when you're starting out, is just painting, you know, trying to figure out ways of painting these better. I don't know, what can I say? And next up, after the various fantasy monsters, is the first half of the Frostgrave barbarians that I'm actually intending to use as a proxy for Swabian mercenaries in in Sicily. So yeah, this is just a box of fantasy figures that I bought at random, which I'm going to use as proxies for medieval Italy. You know, don't have to worry. I mean, you can if you don't have to, you know, worry about whether they're equipped with the right equipment or the right weapons, because they were originally for Frostgrave, and so you know, so that's basically for that. But they're just going to count as 10 medium infantry, or something like that. You know, sort of not elite. Well, they are kind of elite in terms of the history. The Swabians did fight to the death at the Battle of Civitate, but yeah. So the main reason I bought them on a whim for Frostgrave, and I like them. I think they're really great. I mean, the Frostgrave figures are generally pretty good, I think, but these ones were particularly a lot, fun to put together and fun to paint. And they're going to end up as 12. I'll get 2 random figures from elsewhere, and then put them on a base. So there'll be 12 in a unit, and they'll be. Says what? This is about 6 inches wide ish, or 5 maybe. So on a small table, 3 by 3 foot. That'll do okay. Get a bunch of them on with a double line maybe. So anyway, that's what that is. They're again not brilliantly painted, but because the figures themselves are quite fun, and all the variety, it does okay. yes, so that's for an actual project. I mean, they're the wrong figures, but it's for an actual project. The Norman's in Sicily project. But yeah, good fun. I don't want to say. I just enjoy doing them, and you could probably use these Frostgrave barbarians for goths or something if you actually wanted to. Getting closer to the end. I don't know if they are focusing right. Yeah, getting closer to the end, and there's another platoon of my roughly crossfire scale World War Two. There again, it's a struggle to do these because my table isn't big enough for these cavalry mounted troops to kind of come in as cavalry. I'll just bring them in as on foot, so it's kind of pointless. But eventually, when I get a bigger table, I'll want to have a company of cavalry reconnaissance coming on for the early wartime, for Poland and France. So I mean, I need to do them, but this is doing them at a stupid time because I've already got Hanemags for the kind of. So I started off as their a recce battalion for an infantry division, and then they upgrade to motorbikes, and then they upgrade to Hanemags. So I've done it in all the wrong order. So I've got the Hanemags and I've got the motorbikes, but I just feel obliged to do the cavalry. So it's it's nothing wrong with the figures or whatever. It's just there's no point to doing them at the moment, but there is in the long term. So so it's good. It's for an actual project, and it ticks the box, but it's actually quite a long way before I'm actually going to get to use them. So it's a bit under inspiring, but they're okay. It gets done. It gets the job done. I've got another 3 bases to do to finish the lot off. It's a kind of 3 bases for a platoon and 3 platoons and company commander plus 3 bases for where they leave the horses. There's 3 bases of a horse holder, which I imagine will be needed if they ever want to get back to the horses. But whatever, it's a good thing. It's for a project. It does help, but it's a bit of a long-term thing, really. But at least it'll be done. Once I get the last 3 bases done, that'll be it. But the pièce de résistance for the month is actually a sizable chunk of the Marlborough done. It's there's a regiment of cavalry for the French. Don't know if you can see any of that. Again, the painting is not brilliant, but that's okay. It's not. It's nice. It's what can I say? People say it's tabletop standard. I don't even know. I don't even know if mine gets to that really. But it's bad eyesight standard. Is that when they're on the table, I can't I can't see the flaws, so it's okay. It's tabletop standard for my eyesight, so that's rather good. So I was very pleased with these. These are what was it? Front rank. I think these were front rank figures, and I had a bit of a disaster on these in that I got the wrong horses because these I think they're good on there, but the figures come with the saddles on the figure, and I bought horses with saddles, so that was a disaster. But I got some more horses, and this is it basically. I mean, so I don't show them off because I think they're any good. They're painted any good because I'm not the best painter at all, and I'm not the best painter. Plus, I'm a bit I won't say bored, because if there's a lot of them, I do get bored. Like 36, but 6 cavalry is just about okay for me. So and basically, even if you're a rubbish painter, you can still they can look nice anyway, just because the uniforms are kind of nice, or nice enough. So anyway, so that's good. So that's one more regiment of the French done. I think I've got 5 infantry, 2 artillery, and 1 cavalry now. So there's only 1 unit of grenadiers and another unit of cavalry. And the only problem with this is I'm going to have to find cavalry that suits the horses I already got. And apparently the horses I already got were for French Napoleonic ADCs, apparently. So I don't know if I'm going to just get a regiment of ADCs and just pretend they're a regiment, or just look for somewhere that's going to fit. I can just imagine I'm going to buy some troopers, and then they're not going to fit the horse, and I'm going to buy millions more and have to buy other horses, and it's all a nightmare. But that's just how it is. So, anyway, so as the first unit done was these French cavalry, and the second is going to be the last unit on the British / Allies, which is a mixed grenadier battalion. Because I like the idea that the thing with the grenadiers is they often you have companies of grenadiers with particular battalions, but then the armies would collect all these grenadier companies together and put them in special grenadier battalions. So that's the idea behind this. That's why they don't have any battalion flags, because these are, I think, these are the Dutch ones. Dutch, British, and Danish. So I just fancy doing that, just to partly for the history of how it was, that these all these different allied factions together, and partly to mix up the idea of grenadiers being like this way, sort of collective battalions, because there were proper grenadier battalions, but there's also this this bundle of different ones where you get grenadiers from wherever and put them together in a battalion, and plus the idea of just painting different uniforms. Particularly, I saw a picture of Danish grenadiers in these kind of white uniforms with red, and I just wanted to do some, and 4th or 5th or whatever it is. It was an excuse to get more front rank, because I particularly liked these grenadier figures, with the actual grenades. And so I wanted to. What I've been doing generally with the thing, with this, is doing using like 9 of the plastic marble figures, and having 1 figure on each base that was glued in to help move them around and make them the sort of more aesthetic front rank figures. But yeah, I just had to. I got carried away with this, and I decided to get all 12 metal figures instead of just 3. But yeah, I don't know what was I saying. I think these are great. I think they're great figures, and not very well painted, but okay. I think it's definitely okay, and especially with my eyesight on the table, it's they look really good. So I'm happy with that. And the thing about that, that's the 10th unit needed needed for the British and Allies. So it's for the what's it called, 1 hour war games. So I'm going to do a thing in a second about how I feel about all that. But yeah, good. Finally got there. The only problem with the this horse and musket project is, I need to do a lot of train for it, and so that's that. But for this project, the 1 hour war games project, I just need 2 more units for the French and a bunch of terrain. But otherwise, that's done.